Support for WYES is made possible by Mary Lou Kristovich in memory of her husband, William Kristovich.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Amy Rubin, here to talk about the Centennial of Sin, Storyville Revisited, a weekend of events commemorating the anniversary of the closing of Storyville. Welcome, Miss Amy. Hello,
Thank you
great
so
to
much.
see you. And Poppy Tooker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hello, my dear.
Peggy.
Hello. He's back, Michael O'Hara. We love him. Songwriter, performer, and for many years lead singer of the rock band The Sheiks, but he is into his own here, back in New Orleans, and we're so thrilled. Welcome, and you're going to play for us a little later.
I sure am. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you. Glad to see you. And Steppin Out theater critic Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News. First up, Miss Poppy.
Well, I love a week when I learn something. And something I learned this week is that in the bar industry, a bartender's handshake is a tradition where bartenders pass each other a preferred shot instead of shaking each other's hands when they come to each other's bars. And so, in the spirit of a bartender's handshake, the U.S. Bartenders Guild, based here that's out of New Orleans, the New Orleans branch, is getting together to put a really wonderful fundraiser on for everybody in the service and hospitality industry that was affected by Hurricane Harvey. So this is for our Texas friends, since they did so tremendously much to help us. And it's going to be held at Treo. So it's those wonderful people who I love, Paulette and Stephen Patterson. And it's their manager, whose name is Tyler Chauvin. She's just a little spitfire, and she's put this thing together. And it's Sunday. I had this urge to say, leave church and go straight to Treo, because from noon until 7 p.m. there's really fun stuff going on there all day. It's $10 at the bar, which of course goes to benefit the fund. All-day bocce and beer pong tournaments. And there's an all-day cocktail competition where some of the city's greatest bartenders are coming together, pairing up people like, I love that Abigail Gullo, and I adore that Chris Hanna, and they're mixing Ghost Tequila. T. Cole Newton and Megan Devine will be mixing drinks with Cathead Vodka, and Treo's manager, Tyler Chauvin, is going to team up with our near and dear Paul Gustings of Tujague's fame, and there again now, and Caneland spiced rum. And there's going to be food, which is covered by your $10 at the door from Clessy's, Fry Meats, Tana at Treo, of course, 12 Mile Limit, Toast, and I really love this. Pauline herself, very Irish woman, is making her own shepherd's pie and serving it that day. I just want a piece of that. There'll be music from DJ Carmine P. Filthy, the St. Claude Serenaders, and DJ Yes Kate Yes. And I think it's just going to be a really great fun time at Treo all day long for a good cause. And then, so that's Sunday. On Monday, there's a nationwide fundraiser for service hospitality people, hospitality employee workers affected both Harvey and Irma, this is covering. And this is something that started after Katrina. Celebrity chefs all over the country like Tom Colicchio, Michael Simon, Rick Moonen, and Tom Douglas is going to join the Commander's Palace family because, of course, we got so much help by Alex Brennan Martin of Houston's Brennan's, and so he's really jumped into this to make this happen for Houston. And his sister, of course, T. Martin and Lolly Brennan, they're donating 10% of all the proceeds from all the Commander's family restaurants. So, good thing to do Sunday and Monday. And then let's go back to Sunday for good and more fun. How about Chop-Oktoberfest. I had to really work on that one. This is benefiting the Link Strajewski Foundation, and that's happening Sunday. It's an all-ages block party from 4 in the afternoon till 9 in the evening, right there on the corner where, of course, Calcasieu and Koshan Butcher. Tickets start at just $20, and they're inviting everybody to come out and have some German sausages and pretzels. How about these? Just fresh out the oven. We've got the Steins to get us all ready for the event.
Get in the mood, baby.
And of course, their foundation supports the kids of New Orleans. And then last of all, I wanted to give everybody a heads up in case they didn't know that the Deutsches Haus Oktoberfest is returning to New Orleans and Mid-City on October 6th. I wanted to get this in for next Friday. That's going to be their first day. They're going to cut a ribbon. It's going to be great. They don't have the place finished yet, but they're going to have the big party right there at 1700 Moss Street.
Yeah, so that's sort of at the Bayou near right off Esplanade.
Yes, and then it'll
so
continue
exciting.
the weekends of the 14th and then the 20th and 21st, the whole time.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, Amy, in another life, in another context, I know you as a consummate theater professional, and whether it's being a playwright or backstage, but you have put together something that's very much, you're very close to in terms of celebrating an historical moment.
Thank you, Peggy. Yes, the Centennial Sin Storyville Revisited program has been in the works for about 20 years now. So I did produce the 1997 Centennial of the opening of the District Storyville, and now I'm producing the Centennial of the closing of the District Storyville, which on my calendar is October 1st through November 12th. But my main event is October 6th to 8th at the Little Gem Saloon, which is 445
on Poydras,
South Rampart Street at Poydras, which is a jazz historic building, and I'm thrilled to be able to partner with that organization. We'll be upstairs in the ramp room for most of our programming, and it starts, though, on Basin Street. We're going right to the district for the jazz funeral, and that will start on October 6th at 11 o'clock in the morning. We have the Spirit of New Orleans Brass Band led by Jamie White, who is an amazing traditional jazz cornetist and pianist, and he hides that he's a pianist a lot of the time, and he'll be leading the band. We have the Baby Dolls coming with us. I'm bringing back to life Tom Anderson and Gertrude Dix Anderson. They will be promenading on Basin Street, and we will also have Nadine Ramsey, the councilwoman of that district, with us.
Now, there's also an art aspect to the weekend. Explain that wonderful photo.
Well, that wonderful photo and art piece is of the late, great Veronica Russell. Yes. And she was my dear friend. She was with me in 1997 on Basin Street. She also played one of my characters in my plays. And we wanted to honor her because I miss my friend. I really do. And her family and I are friends. And I decided to get some artists that I know, John and Lori Cernak, to develop this piece. And now we have several pieces. I'm bringing 10 pieces from John and Lori Cernak. Some of them will be on display at the Centennial location for the 6th to the 8th, but all of them will be on display afterwards at the Pharmacy Museum upstairs on the second floor.
And will they be available if somebody wanted to purchase
They're
them?
all for purchase, the originals as well as prints. And we'll be displaying them in the Bordello Room, which I am dressing out as Veronica's Bordello Room with her original district clothing and portraits.
Now, you're also going to be presenting excerpts from a play that you wrote pertaining to Storyville.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that.
And another artist involved
This is a book of poetry by Dr. Brooke Bergen, who has compiled a series of poems and essays, and she's inspired by the Belloc photographs as well as the different characters that she knew of from the district. She has never read from this book until now.
So all of this part of the weekend, and you've got the ham kick to conclude.
The ham kick will be Sunday evening,
about what that
5:30. There's a whole dramatic presentation in the saloon, and then we will be kicking the ham, and it's donated by Chisesi Pride. They're donating hams for my ham kick.
Kicking the ham. So once again, littlegemsaloon.com and your website.
Districtproductionsnola.com for tickets.
Okay, but you can show up if you
show up at the door, cash at the door, or tickets in advance.
Very reasonably priced, too. Thank you. Okay. And New Orleans Magazine quiz queen Julia Street has a question for us. Last time, Leonard Mercer gave us Popeye's Fried Chicken's earliest slogan and the native rice dish the chain popularized. The slogan was, "Love that chicken" from Popeye's, written, by the way, by our pal A.J. Loria. And the dish was dirty rice. Now, tonight's question. One is a hotel with a British name. The other is a statue of the British Prime Minister. All of this in honor of the Saints game this weekend. Okay, both stand near each other. What are they? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prize is a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine, a copy of New Orleans, The First 300 Years, courtesy of Pelican Publishing, and a New Orleans Public Service Transit Token T-shirt, as worn by WYES Associate Producer Burke Bischoff. So go to NewOrleansPublicService.com to see the new T-shirt line, and you can go to WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events, including a Blessing of the Animals at Zeus Rescue Center on Napoleon Avenue on October 4th, in honor of St. Francis of Assisi's feast day. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to view our program. And Michael, once again, it's great to have you. You've got a lot of good news. Including a CD coming out soon?
I just got signed by Robert Osh Records.
Yes.
My president is the
John
wonderful John O'Tan. Signed me. I've been working on the CD, and when I drop it, it's going to be hot.
I bet. Now, you got a busy weekend.
I have a busy weekend.
Gretna Fest?
Yes, I'm at Gretna Fest, 8:30 on the Gattuso stage, right across from Gattuso's restaurant. I know you're familiar with that.
And that's tomorrow night,
That's tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. I'll be closing the show that night.
Oh, great. And then now, all right, so starting, I guess, next Sunday at
Next Sunday at BB King's, I'm doing a gospel brunch from 10 to 12 in the morning before the Saints game. So don't come on down and get some grits and whatever. And I'm going to be doing it as the history of gospel music. I'm going to be performing all these old gospel songs that a lot of people aren't singing now. I have nothing against the new gospel music. It's wonderful. But I think we need to go back to the old landmark. And
now, this is for the next, so Sundays through October
at 10:30? 5 Sundays in October start. Five Sundays.
Okay.
And I didn't know either, but I found out there are 5 Sundays. So starting right after Saturday, the next day, Sunday, October 1st, I'll be at BB King's.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear it. Now, if somebody wants to know more about you, your website?
My website is michaeldreams.com, or they can contact me on Facebook, Michael J. O'Hara on Facebook.
And we've got your email up here,
and you've got my
so
email
lots
address.
of ways. You're accessible, sir.
I'm accessible. I'm here for everybody.
Well, we are so thrilled you're here, and we're going to let you get ready because Michael is going to be performing, and he's performing an original composition. We're so thrilled. Right in our studio, and our beautiful baby grand piano, and it's called I'll Follow You.
Doesn't matter where you try and run, I'll follow you. Doesn't matter how many times you say that we're through. Oh, baby, I'll follow you to the highest mountain, to the lowest valley. Girl, I'll follow you to the sea. Don't you think it's time you get yourself accustomed to the fact no matter how you push, I always pull. Oh, baby, I'll follow you wherever you are. There's no distance on earth to the sea. Doesn't matter where you are, I'll keep you company, no matter how far, as long as you're with me. You could walk across the desert sands, I'd follow you. Any place I hang my hat is home when I'm with you. Oh, baby, I'll follow you to the highest mountain, to the lowest valley. Girl, I'll follow you to the sea.
Woo! Oh, boy. Just a reminder, Michael will once again, he'll be performing tomorrow night. That's at 8:30 at Gretna Fest, and Sunday mornings with Gospel Brunch in October at 10:30 at BB King's on Decatur. That's the old Margaritaville. The musical Fun Home is based on the true story of writer and artist Alison Bechdel's discovery of her own sexuality and her relationship with her gay father, along with her attempts to unlock the mysteries surrounding his life. The family home housed a funeral home, hence the term Fun Home. And in this scene tonight, the children tried to come up with a commercial for the business. This is the local debut of the Tony Award-winning musical presented by Southern Rep Theater. And to perform for us, Camille Burkey, Henry Morris, and Christian Collins, with Jefferson Turner accompanying them on piano with the song Come to the Fun Home.
Places, everybody! Fun Home commercial take 7 million billion thousand. Your uncle died. You're feeling low. You've got to bury your mama, but you don't know where to go. Your papa needs his final rest. You got to give them the best. Whoa, come to the Fun Home. That's the Bechtel Funeral Home, baby. The Bechtel Fun Home. Next to Vickers Department Store in Beach Creek. The Bechtel Fun Home. We take dead bodies every day of the week, so you've got no reason to roam. We're the Bechtel Funeral Home. What it is, what it is. What it is now, baby. Suck it to me. 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 Suck it to me, baby.
Our caskets, ooh, our satin line, and we got so many models, guaranteed to blow your mind. You know our mourners,
So satisfied.
they like our formaldehyde. Yeah, here at the Fun Home, that's the Bechtel Funeral Home, baby.
Come to the Fun Home. We've got Kleenex and your choice of some.
Stop by the Fun Home. Think of Bechtel when you need to embalm. You've got no reason to roam. We're the Bechtel Funeral Home. What it is, what it is. Who, what it is now, baby. Tell them what we got. Tell them what we got to tell. What else have we got? What else have we got, you guys?
Smelling salts for if you're queasy. Folding chairs that open easy.
These are cool. You know what they are? Flags with magnets for your car.
These are wires and they hold flowers. Here's a sign for the names of the hours.
Stand right here when you sign the book.
This is called an aneurysm hook on guard. our hearse there's a backward seat. That's why we made up this poem. We're the Bechtel Funeral Home. What it is, who, what it is now, baby, who.
All right. We have a busy little studio. Fun Home is currently being performed at Noka's NIMS Black Box Theater on Charter Street. It's easy to park there too, and this is on weekends through October the 22nd. Visit southernrep.com for more information. Congratulates to them. They're really a wonderful crew there. And now it's time for Alan.
I can't wait to see it. Of course, I was able to see the university production at Loyola last night of Lucas Nath's The Christians at Marquette Hall, and it might be interesting since Michael is an ordained minister. It's largely a freshman class of players. It's directed by Patrick Gendusa, who works so well with the students. There's an organ on stage, and of course the cast acts as a choir throughout. What happens, though, when the fundamental beliefs you harbor, that you state that are in place of eternal punishment and damnation are challenged? It's said that you must believe in hell in order to tempt your actions in this world. As the playwright suggests, that can lead to a whole pitfall of problems if that belief system is challenged. And in The Christians, we see the ramifications when the pastor of a large affluent congregation takes basically the lead in challenging the existence of Satan and hell. Javier Menderos plays that slick Pastor Paul who comes to the conclusion that a loving God would never want eternal damnation for all non-believers. Associate Pastor Joshua, played by Max Piper, is the first one to challenge the pastor, and the congregation is soon consumed in controversy as they're trying to play out who's going to be the winner here in terms of must bad necessarily be part of what makes us good. The cast also has two young ladies played by Katie Maddox as Elizabeth, the pastor's wife. She's shaken to the core of her beliefs and her love for her husband. And congregant Jenny is played by Emma Schlage. She also questions his motivations, particularly since it comes so close to the mortgage about to close. The play received a citation from the Steinberg New Play Award Committee of the American Theater Critics Association. Of course, Lucas Nath now is on Broadway with The Doll's House 2. It's still on the boards there. I recommend this very highly. It's a wonderful production. Meanwhile, Loyola University has another very special news to announce. Tony Kushner, the Tony Award winner and, of course, the Pulitzer Prize winner, will be here in New Orleans. He's, of course, a native of Lake Charles. He's coming back to the boot, as it were, during the celebration around the time of Caroline or Change, which is being mounted at Loyola University in a joint production with JPS at the end of September and beginning of October.
And you said there's a limited number of seats.
There are only 200 seats that they're putting out to the public. You call the box office, the number's there, 865-3240, and you'll be able to get reserved seats. Meanwhile, I did not get a chance to see yet or to review, unfortunately, a play called Mr. Burns. It's a post-apocalyptic play about what may or may not happen in the future. The cast stars Diana Shortez and Rebecca Hollingsworth, among other stars. It's going to be playing at Art Club through next weekend, and if you don't know where Art Club is, it's really off of North Johnson and Art Street, a new venue, and they should have air conditioning there very soon, but bring a fan if not. Also, don't forget, JPAS is going to have their latest production of Chicago coming up very soon. Two of the players, Vanessa Van Rankin and also Patrick Michael Sullivan, will be featured. He played Billy Flynn on the National Touring Show, and Vanessa Van Rankin was also on the touring show of this Chicago nationally. So you should be able to check that out. That's really top-notch entertainment, and again, great talent that JPAS is putting on. I'm not quite sure if Alan Payne is still going to be conducting. He was slated to, but we'll see what happens on that. That's Chicago, going to be at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center, and that's, of course, on Airline Drive, not too far away from the stadium. And last but not least, a couple of years ago, I was lucky enough to be able to bring in, with Peggy's help here, the Hazelnuts. It's a group of close harmony trio who come from Israel. They were actually living in Jerusalem at the time. They now live in Tel Aviv. And these young ladies are going to be back in New Orleans to help celebrate the Sukkot holiday at the JCC, but they're also going to be at Snug Harbor and also at Buffa's. Buffa's on Friday night, Snug Harbor on Saturday. It's free.
Terrific. The
event is free, though, for the JCC at 4 o'clock on Sunday.
All right, thank you. Now it's time for our picks. Amy.
I have to give a pick to John McCusker doing Storyville tours during my Centennial.
Oh, good.
And he's doing one special event. He is going to, as his photography self, doing a special talk on the artifacts versus the artistic, reconsidering the Bellocks.
All right, sounds good.
If you haven't got your tickets, the Gulf Restoration Network's 23rd anniversary party is Sunday from 6 until 8 at Carmo. Sure to be some great seafood.
Micah, you've got something else coming up later in October, huh?
Yes, I do. Well, my mind just took a
October
break.
17th?
October 17th, I'm going to be at BB King's as the Sheik. And I'm doing this because I play at the nursing homes, and it's my way of saying hi to them.
That's so sweet. Thank you, Anna.
I want to remind everybody, you know, there was a period of time, only about 20 years, where the Verismo operas were basically holding their court, as it were. No more grand operas. It's all about the little people, as it were. And Cavalleria Rusticana and Pagliacci, two of the best examples of Verismo opera, are going to be on stage at the New Orleans Opera at the Mahalia Jackson Theater. Don't miss that.
Just a piece of trivia, Cavalleria Rusticana was Louis Armstrong's favorite. And when he would warm up, he would play, you know, some of the wonderful music from it. My picks. Treme will be holding its 3rd annual Fall Fest this weekend on the grounds of St. Augustine Church, that beautiful church on Governor Nichols Street. Admission is free, and the fest goes from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day. Lots of food and drink and music. And don't forget, the Carmelite nuns will hold their Mass of the Roses this Sunday at 9 a.m., and that will be at the Carmelite Monastery in Covington. And visit their website, covingtoncarmel.org, for more information. And they'll be selling lots of goodies, some baked goods and little Carmel dolls, nun dolls. Should be really sweet. New Orleans Opera Association is holding a preview series called Opera Nouvelle, which will showcase a variety of community venues. They're going to be all around town, and that's now through actually April 30th. Their first performance, though, will be at the Jewish Community Center. That's this Monday at 7 p.m. Well, they'll be presenting, as you just said, Verissimo reality operas. So check their website for more information on that. And looking ahead, WYES is holding its annual Season of Good Taste series of dinners from October to January. Some of the restaurants featured this season are the Caribbean Room, Mondo, Gautro's, and the Pelican Club, and more. Go to WYES.org or Eventbrite.com to make a reservation. And Amy, are you going to be performing in your play, or you'll be just directing it?
I will not be performing. I have a series of performers, and they will be bringing back to life some of the notable district characters. And I have directed it, I've written it, but no, I don't perform in it. Thank you.
I was wondering. You're very versatile, kiddo. The other thing is the Little Gem Saloon, that space on the 2nd floor, it is so perfect.
It is perfect.
And it is, as you had alluded to, it is a famous place because it was one of the places where early jazz was performed.
In the back of town, which was also considered, quote unquote, the Black Storyville.
Yes, yes, right there by City Hall.
Right there.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much. Great to have you on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, kiddos, and thank you for watching. Good night.